Jason, why don't you start us off with your thoughts on what the Browns did last weekend? As Kyle said yesterday, kind of an under-the-radar team right now.
Yes, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. They are under-the-radar team because we don't talk about them much in their division. They got another weapon for Deshaun Watson, a guy that can go opposite of Amari Cooper, a guy that was at Tennessee, played some really good football. Father was in the NFL as well. They got Big Thanos. This guy is huge, 6'8", 300-something pounds. There were little question marks about his work ethic and what he's going to do. We will find out. These two guys at the top, high school teammates, now on the same NFL team. Really cool. Luke Whippler went to the same high school as I did. This guy is actually a stand-up comedian, has done it a few times.
That's awesome.
Stand-up comedian, Luke Whippler. This team is going to be a lot of fun. They do not have a first-round draft pick until 2025, so they got a lot of these guys in the middle of the draft. Said his best friend is going to be Myles Garrett. Myles doesn't know it yet, but Iku said his favorite player and his best friend is going to be Myles Garrett. This is a team that may surprise some people in their division. Deshaun Watson should be better this season to go along with some of the guys that they got in this year's draft.
Shout out St. Joe's. It's always great to have a funny offensive
We got to get him in here. But he probably doesn't want all the vets to know, because if you say you're a stand-up comedian, you guarantee he's going to be in front of the room having to perform for all of the veterans throughout training camp.
Is there a Jersey Chuckle Hut stand-up place that you want to shout out that he might have performed at?
There's one down in the Central Jersey new area called the Laugh Factory, Stress Factory,
Stress Factory
down there. So maybe he's performing there. We'll find out.
Sounds like the unfunniest place ever.
Seriously.
Stress Factory, that's what it's called?
Before I go on to mine, I'm gonna add one more. Can I write here? Can I write on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Anthony would love it.
An undrafted player for the Cleveland Browns, Charlie Thomas, linebacker out of Georgia Tech. I just happened to catch him. He caught my eye a couple of times last year. Kid's a playmaker, right? And you go to watch the Pitt game, the way that he really took it over when he came. He had a targeting call, so he didn't play till the second half. He comes in, pretty much took over the second half. He was kind of a tweener, though, so he was a little lighter, so that's why he went undrafted. But that guy's going to make the team, I'm telling you right now.
Wow, right, you got it.
Okay.
Bold predictions, training camp battles. All right, I'm moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals here. I talked a little bit about Myles Murphy yesterday and about how as soon as that card went in, as soon as that pick was announced, I was like, yeah, that's going to work. That's going to make a ton of sense in Lou Adarumo's Bengals defense. But Marion Hobby is the defensive line coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he has a history at Clemson. He was there a couple of years ago, so you know he got good reports on Myles Murphy. And there was like a question, is he too tight? You know, is he not loose enough for a little bit? And you know Marion Hobby was like, no, this is a guy who's going to play, and he's going to play really well for our team. So I like that pick right there. DJ Turner, the cornerback from Michigan last year, had 10 pass breakups last season. He's a little smaller, but this is the quote from him. I've been on the lighter side my whole life, so he knows how to play at that weight. Kind of like Bryce Young talking about this is the size I've been my entire life. DJ Turner, kind of the same way. Then you got Jordan Battle. They had their safety depth chart rated via free agency, so they needed to add somebody here, and they added Jordan Battle. You could do worse things than adding an Alabama safety there. Third team APL American with 71 tackles last year. And then Brad Robbins, we have video of. Supposedly he thought he was getting pranked. Thought he was getting a prank call when they called him. Which Mike Robb told the story the other day about how he hung up on Scott McLuhan years ago. Because he thought he was the people were
Mohamed Sanu got a prank call who got drafted by the Bengals as well some years ago.
There you go. Now watch the form here. Look, boom. He kicks the ball very high and he kicks it very far. That is my analysis of Brad Robbins.
Pretty cool.
The Michigan punter-kicker being drafted is like the highest kicking pair from one school has been drafted ever. I thought
you were going to break down like how fast he got the ball off, what his hang time was. If you're going to give us punter footage, you got to give us some type of breakdown.
I broke it down. High and far. What more could you ask for from a punter?
I beat this kid in Pig once.
Talk about it.
He played a game of Pig at Alabama ahead of the Arkansas game. Bryce Young, Jamison Williams, Jordan Battle. This one talks the talk. He said he was the best basketball player on the team. Granted, we were not allowed to be within 6 feet of each other, so we had to just play Pig. So like, best basketball player versus best shooter, but I beat Bryce Young, Jamison Williams, and Jordan Battle with the game of Pig.
So why do you struggle so much on the Fisher-Price hoop?
Because it's a toy, Jason. It's a toy. Kyle, go.
The Ravens got themselves a toy, and his name is Zay Flowers. This is what they did. So they get Lamar, and they finally reach a deal, and it's a miracle, and there's white smoke that comes out of the chimney and everything. And then Zay Flowers, they go and add on to it. Now, Zay Flowers, first wide receiver from Boston College ever drafted in the first round, ever. It's an unbelievable thing. Small guy, 5'9 and a quarter, 180-some pounds. It's kind of like they're trying the Hollywood Brown thing again, but this guy is a big-time playmaker, so they draft him. Lamar, you get a contract. You get the wide receiver. We're still waiting for Lamar's entire gym infomercial product. I really want to try it. We still haven't gotten it. I don't know why. I've been basically begging. The rest of the draft, Trenton Simpson. Guys, a linebacker out of Clemson. His father was 17 years with the Army Rangers. Like, that's big time. Tavius Robinson, from Canadian guy from Ole Miss. Caillou Blue Kelly. Look at that, from Stanford. His father, Brian Kelly, was a cornerback on the old Bucks Super Bowl team. And then my guy, the guy that I thought Jason was going to draft in the 3rd round. Here we go.
Let me hear it.
Got a cop.
Malaisala Amuvai Laulu. Grew up in Alaska, also spent time in Hawaii, went to high school in Las Vegas, and he is playing the offensive line. We'll see if he can make the squad. We hope so. The Brady pick, 199. That is your 2023.
This was our guy that got hurt during the combine.
Andrew Voorhees.
Hit the bench press. Was a guest right here on the show. Yes,
was it an ACL or Achilles? ACL?
ACL, yeah.
Ah, right. Like I said.
Showed up.
He will rise like his uncle Jason Voorhees.
He's
exactly right.
With
With the mask on at Crystal Lake and all that, except it'll be the AFC North. What do you got?
Stuck the landing. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They went for bulk, I feel like, when they drafted. They take an offensive tackle in the 1st round. First time they've taken a tackle this high, the Steelers, in like 30-plus years. Of course, the family lineage now runs deep with Joey Porter Jr. in the 2nd round. Many are seeing as he fell a lot at the tight end spot. Not a big pass-catching tight end out of Georgia, but that's because they have an epic tight end coming in next year's draft, Brock Bowers.
Okay.
So it's almost this partnership on the offensive line is going to be awesome. His license plate reads 6th offensive lineman with less consonants, obviously. We love this man. He wore a Spam T-shirt. His brother also plays for the team on our show. Hawaiian guy.
That guy was great.
The Georgia-Wisconsin connection in Pennsylvania as a state is actually ridiculous. But the Steelers, I thought they drafted really strong. They're a team that they missed the playoffs for the first time last season since 2019. So they had a couple holes to figure out. But I think the fact that they didn't go quarterback, wide receiver, like this tight end situation with Pat Freiermuth and Najee Harris coming out of the backfield, I think the Steelers' offense they're going to get their wheels turning this year.